Hello, and this is Lazy from Mr. Lazy Legs. I'm just going to change over to green. Bear with. Okay, so what are we going to do today? So I purchased a Hawk 5 Pro, which is here, but I like using my Evolution controller because it's what I use on all the simulators that I do, and it's also what I use on the small drones as well, which is like the Whoop drones. But it came with the FreeSky XM Plus, which I didn't want to use. So me and a buddy, Bolts, we tried to change it over, and we just couldn't get it to work on Betaflight. So we can get the chip paired, which is you can't see it. We can get the if I move it over, then you will be able to see it. So we can get the actual receiver to bind to the controller, but we can't see any movement on Betaflight, which is a bit weird. So what we're going to do is Bolts discovered that because we were only looking on this side because it's on a stack, there are no UARTs on this side. Oh, you can't see it, can you? There you go. There are no UARTs on this side, but there is an S bus connection, which is here. I'll just move that out the way there. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take this connection off, and Bolts discovered that if we turn it over, you do have some connections which you can connect to. That's an RX receiver 1, and I think we've got a 3 on this side. Yeah, I think there's a 3 on RX3 on this side. Now I'm not very good at soldering, which is why I asked Bolts to give me a hand, but I think I should be able to solder onto those quite easily, I think. So the first thing we've got to do is take off the receiver gently on this side. So that's what we are going to do first, and I'm hoping that because I've not done this before and I'm going to do it live now, it is I'm hoping a lesson for everybody on clearly what not to do and hopefully what to do. So but those that know my channel know that I like to do things live. You know, I like to I don't like pre-recording, I don't like doing post-production. I find it all incredibly boring, so I don't like doing it. So whilst that is doing that, I just have to nip and get a little bit of water. So I'm going to go and do that now for my very poor soldering skills, like so. I got my very important clippers here, and I should, there we go, and I also have my solder that I need as well. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do is basically just take off what Bolts soldered on yesterday. So we've got the white and the red, which is the 5 volts, and the black, which is the ground. And then what we can do, we just want to make sure that we are doing the right thing. So I want to just click on here, FS-A8S, and let's just look at the manual. If that is possible. I actually want the manual though. I've already bought a few, so I don't particularly want one. this going to give me a diagram? Yes, it is. Okay, so once I've got that off, actually what I can do is using the, if I'm done with it there, that should be identical. If I put that under there, you should be able to see it as well. That looks pretty much the same as the one on the screen. Sorry that I'm shaking, I can't help that. So what we want to do is, we just want to make sure that we're getting the colours right. So we've got a yellow and a white that comes out. So we know that the very end one is the ppm right. So we just want the white then, because the iBus signal automatically comes out and it's next to the other one. So we know that the yellow, yeah, so white is the one that we want to definitely use and not the yellow one. So I'm just waiting for my soldering iron, which is here, to heat up. And I want to give my, it's actually quite wet, which is not ideal. Okay, so I'm also left-handed, so I'm going to need to move and turn this around, but I still want you to be able to see what I'm doing. Look at, there we go. Okay, so first thing I'm going to try and do is take off the red. Put my clippers on the right way. There we go. And then we're going to take off the white. Oops. And also the black. Okay, I've got no idea what I'm doing now. Let's have a look on the screen. Let's just bring it back. I think I've managed to solder those two together. There we go. Okay. So what we're left with here now, just give this a quick clean. Leave that there. Right, so we have managed to take that off, which is great. And now what we want to do is turn it round, and we are going to solder it onto here. Like, ooh, you can't see. Why can't you see? There we go, like that. So we've got to put the black wire on that one, the white wire on that one, and the red on that one. So that's what we're going to have to do. So let's get to it. So the first thing I want to do is get a little bit of solder and then just put solder on all those that I need solder on. And then what I also want to do is just I want to make sure that on these wires that they are nice and clean for when I'm soldering again, because I don't think they are. So what I might have to do is just snip. Oh, I don't know actually, that doesn't look too bad. If I give them a little twist, that might be okay actually. Like that. And then we do want to have the white in the middle, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but I'm just basically making sure that everything is nice and tight, so to speak, like that. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is put a tab of solder on each of those. So let's clean the old, let me just turn the light up a little bit because that's a bit, it's not very light. There we go. Now you can see a little bit better, and I can see much better. Right, so we're just going to get a little bit of solder, like so. So we want it on here. And this one. And on this one. And I'll just do this one a little bit. There we go. Like that. There we go. Okay, looking good. So we'll do this one first. I'm just saying I've got a little gizmo thing here. I'm hoping I can see a little bit better. Well, I don't think I can. No. That is just going to have to do. Right, so where were you looking? You're not looking in the right place. So I'll just move you back. There you go. That's the solder that I've just put on. So we put it on the negative, the RX2 and the 5 volts. So we'll do the black first. And I'm going to copy what Bolts showed me yesterday, because you do want a really nice seal. Oh dear, that was terrible. Don't know what I was doing there. I need to take that off. Right, let's try again. There we go. Okay, he's nicely done. RX2, we're going to use the white. So let's just bring that over. I am trying to, I know it's moving around. I have got helping hand, which I probably should have used, to be quite honest, but I didn't. But I'm just going to stick this on here a minute, like that. So I've done the black, and now all I've got to do now is the power. So I know it's moving out of your screen, I'm sorry about that. Let's see if I can bend it a little bit so it's not doing what we don't want it to do. So we want it like that, and we want to put it on. What are you looking at? Because you're not looking at anything now, are you? Let's move it over. There we go. Okay, that's where we want it, and that's how we want that, like that. So let's just get the clippers again. So that as it's not very clean, but I think that has done it. We think. Okay. So now we've done that, and that bit works. What I want to do is we need to test it and then see if A, it lights up, and B, if we can get it onto Betaflight. So I'm just going to change back to here, and I just want to make sure that's just pointing currently at the wrong monitor. Let me just change the monitor to 1. There we go. So now we're in Betaflight, and now you can see where we are in Betaflight. Okay, that's great. I don't want to switch off the solder just now, although I probably should, but I don't want to. And what we're going to hopefully do is I can put the receiver and connect it back like so. And then what I need to do is I actually have to put it back on the stack, because I need to this is one of the stacks that you actually need the power from the battery to enable the even if you just put in the USB for Betaflight, it doesn't power the receiver. So I just have to put this back in, which I hope is I'm doing the right way. Maybe I'm not doing it the right way. No, probably not. Let's try it that way. No, yeah, that is the right way. Let's just push it in nice and tight, like that. And then we get the battery, which is a 4S for this particular one. And hopefully everything should light up. So let's just check. Yes. Okay, that is all up. I need to change the channel, the setup on my controller to 3, which is my Hawk. And now what I should be able to do is, ideally without electrocuting myself or burning myself or any of the above, plug this in. Oops. Like that, and then that should auto connect, but let's just give it a second. It's not auto connecting. It is switched on, so why isn't that working? Let's just undo it and then we'll plug it back in again. Serial port failed. Might be because I'm bringing too much power. So let's do that and see if that's a bit better. No, it failed again. Let's do that. Plug it back in again. Okay, so there's something not quite working here now, because that should be working fine. I'm not quite sure why it's not. Let's try again. Let's switch that off a minute. switch it on again. And my soldering seems to be pretty good, so I'm going to unplug my solder iron so I don't burn myself again. And that should be working, but for some reason it isn't. Oh, there it is, it's worked. Okay. Right, so I need to make sure that my output mode is iBus, and it is, so I don't have to do anything with this. So on here I need to go to, right, I think it's UART2 because I'm using RX2, but it might not be, so I might have to go through all of them. So let's just save and reboot. And then I want to go down to my configuration, and we are using iBus now, so change that to iBus, keep that the same, save and reboot, and then if I go to my controller, nothing, which is the problem I was having before. And I hoped that this would have done it, but as you can see, I'm moving my sticks, but there isn't anything happen. So let's just make sure that I am on the right. That is correct. iBus is correct. Everything down there is correct, but it isn't. Right, okay. So before I do anything else, what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch. I'm going to whoa, that could have been nasty. Right, I'm just going to switch that off a minute. I'm going to put this back into bind mode. I know it bound, but you know, I don't always feel overly confident in stuff. And then I'm going to push that down so I can get it into bind mode, plug it in. So that should be flashing. Which is what I want. That is in bind mode. Right, now I should be able to switch this off, like so. Switch it back on, and now that is now bound. So I know it's definitely bound. And then what I want to do is just, I want to restart the drone. So everything is as it should be. So let's restart. Now if we go to receiver, we don't get anything. That's fine. So now let's just go through our ports, and we just need to double check if RX2 means UART2. So we're going to go back to that one. And then go back to receiver. Oops. Nothing on that receiver at all, which is very disappointing. Okay, let's go back to ports. Let's try 3. Receiver, nothing. go back to ports again. Let's try port 4. Nothing. Let's go back to ports again. Let's try 5. Receiver. Still nothing. Let's go back to that one again. Nothing. UART2. Restart that baba. Let's go back to receiver. Nothing. Okay, so this did not work. I thought it would, but it hasn't. So I'm just trying to find out what else it could possibly be. And why I can't get this thing to work. I'm sure I have plumbed it in correctly. This is set up correctly as well. So I can't get the FS-A8S receiver working on the Magnum 2. If I change to here, so this is the screen of the instructions of it. What I possibly can do is just quickly do a search on the Magnum F4 Mini RX2 is UART2, because that's what we're looking at the moment. There we go. We've got some. I'm trying to write my cost for nano functionality, blah blah blah. The bottom of the board has UART 1 to 5 pads. No, it doesn't. What's he got then? He's not showing me what he's got. UART2. Yes, UART2 on the Maker Epic boards is configured for S-Bus, which has a hardware inverter on the RX line. So you can't use that UART for a crossfire receiver. There is no software inverters on the M4AX controllers. You can use any other spare UART. I have the MATK405 STD and I am running a Crossfire Nano on UART4. The hex numbers, right, okay. So I can't use iBus, but I might be able to use S-Bus. So let's change to S-Bus, like so. I am still bound. I'm still not getting anywhere with this one at all. But I am using, I think I'm using that one correctly. So let's just reboot it. Oh no, I've got to change this as well, haven't I? This is looking for iBus, but I want S-Bus. Let's do that again. Still not working. I am doing everything. Let's just check if it is going to be UART1. I don't think it is. No. Okay. So going back to this, yes, UART2 on the America FP4 is configured to S-Bus. Dump. So that's what he's got coming out. Serial RX3, 2 is A03, but I don't so UART2 is inverted, but I don't actually get a UART. But I'm looking for a picture of what it is that I'm meant to be looking at. But this is suggesting that I use a different UART. But I couldn't find an RX1 on there. But we'll have a little look. So let's do that. Let's unplug everything. Like so. You want to switch that off and then switch that back on. You want to take this off and then turn it round. Okay, now if we look, I need to get a hotkey for this. It's a pain in the ass. There we go. Okay, I'm going to have to unplug this now. There we go. Okay, so this is the board, which you can't see. Hold on. I have to reactivate the camera. Right. So currently we have got the FS-A8S here, and it is connected to GTX RX2, which I thought is UART2, but I can't see there's one there. Oh, I see. No, that one's already taken care of, so we can't use any of those because they are, that's GT, that's RX5. So we can't use that. RX1, I don't really understand, but that's presumably, we can't use that because that's for the USB. So we're using 2 here. So 2 really is the only one that we've got that we can use. I don't know where it's getting all these other numbers except that. That might be one, don't know. We've got 4, that's an RX. Okay, there's an RX4 and a TX4. So I don't know if I'm supposed to perhaps put the white on there. What's on the other side? Is that 3? Well, that's an RX2 as well. Why is there 2 RX2s? Don't know. We've got 2 on that side. SDA. No, on that. Got another RX4. I think RX4 is being used. We've got another RX2 there. Don't know why. And then we've got the RX2 that we've got there. RX1 is for the USB, so I can't touch that. So all I seem to have is 4. So I don't know if I need to take the white off this one and put it on that one over there. I don't know if that's going to do what we want it to do. So if we just have a look. Betaflight has UART 1 and 3 showing unused, with UART 2 looking configured for the receiver. I believe it's inverted due to the quad coming in from FS-A8S D8. 1. Is it correct that I cannot use an inverted UART on a crossfire? I don't know if I don't think I've got crossfire. I don't know. I know that I haven't got crossfire. Are also inversion for UARTs possible on this board? Are UART right? Okay. Yes, UART2 on F405 boards is configured for S-Bus, which has a hardware inverter on the RX line, so you can't use that UART for a crossfire receiver. You can use any other spare UART. I have that blah 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 on the UART 4 Nano RX on UART 4. The hex numbers next to the resource mapping on hex numbers, they are MCU pin identifiers. When the resource is mapped to the MCU pin, the signal is output or input on that pin. The pin out for them to is below. Okay. Except I don't think an image shows on this, does it? No. Okay, that's fine. Okay. So if I want iBus, I think I need to take the white wire and put it on the 4 RX over there. So I obviously unplugged the my solder iron far too quickly. So I'm going to let that push up. Let's just stop my controller from making constant beeping. That does my head in. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take the wire, the white one, off here, which is RX2, and we're going to put it on RX1, sorry, RX4 over here, and then in Betaflight change it to UART4 and then see if that does anything whatsoever, or if I still have the same problem, because it isn't binding. They are binding, so it's got nothing to do with binding. It is more to do with the receiver talking to the rest of the board, which then goes on to Betaflight. So I'm going to unplug that for now, because that is the receiver. I don't want that getting hot, so I'm going to put that over there where it's safe. And I need to bring my trusted magnifying glasses over so I can see. so. Now what I'd like to be able to do, which I probably should have done before, but because it moves all the time, which does my head in, I'm just going to very quickly put the board over here, and then I should be able to move all of that closer to you folks, and then I've just got to refocus it. No, and then refocus it. There we go. Okay. So the first job is to take off the white. Hopefully this won't move around too much whilst I'm trying to do it. Right, let's just check how hot my iron is. Now you wouldn't be wrong in thinking that perhaps what I should have done is just paid for a new transmitter and kept the XM receiver that was already on there. And you wouldn't be wrong in thinking that perhaps that's what I should have done. But you know, hindsight is a wonderful thing. So I'm just going to now go in and try separate these wires, and then oops, I want to release him. There we go, released. Okay. So now what we want to do is RX4, which is there. I want to put a bit of solder on that. Where's my solder? There it is. There we go. Okay, so let's just give it a quick clean. Put a little bit of solder on, and then what we want to do is come in at an angle and do that. It's not quite worked as I had anticipated. Come on. There we go. Like that. So I've got some solder on that. Probably too much. There you go. And then, are we still seeing what I... Yep. And then what I want to do is just get this white wire and I want to drag it over like so, and now I just want to solder it into that. Trying to get hold of the there we go. Not quite going according to plan at the moment. Clearly wanting to be a pain in the ass. So I just need to get it. So when I place it, and let's just give the tip a quick clean. And I want to bring these down like that. Far from perfect, but it'll do for this test to see if I can make it work. Okay, so that bit is now done. So what I want to do now is I'm just going to move that out of the way. Lift that up, and then move that out of the way, and just so you can actually see what I'm doing, if I change the camera, move it down a minute. Let's just see if I can do this a bit better. There we go. I say there you go, but probably not the best, but there you go. Right, so we bring this back over. And then we can plug this back in. And then we want to get the chip. So let's just bring this. It's upside down. That's why. Go. That sits on there. That sits on there. Let's plug this one in. Like that. Alright, we can change cameras now. So we can go back to that camera. I need to switch that camera off. And then plug this babber in. Like that. That has connected me, and then I can attach the battery. Boot them up. Okay. So we still want to use iBus, so we'll go to the configuration. We'll go to configuration. We're going to change that to iBus, not S-Bus. save and reboot. Go back to ports, and we're going to try and do port 4. And look, nothing happens. Oh dear. So I don't know what else to try. I am out of ideas. No. I just cannot get the receiver talking to the I wonder if I can get into here. If I just change the screen again a second. Because I'm just wondering. That's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. There we go. If I do a dump on here, it gives me find out if there is a UART and if any of them are assigned. We've got serials, servos, pins, UART, RX. Now see, this is then that I've got up from 1 up to 8, but it says that there isn't anything on any of them. None. None of them are being assigned. UART 4, I would have expected, if it was to work, something to be there maybe, or maybe not. Let's scroll up a bit more. I've got power, I've got PMW in at 803, serial RX, resource, serial RX. I've got no idea what any of this means, by the way. I'm not an expert in this whatsoever. But what I want to find out is it keeps talking about is serial. See, I'm in serial here. Serial. iBus. No, that did not work. Right. I'm going to keep it on UART 4. I don't know why. Go back to configuration. Let's change it back to S-Bus. Let's change my controller back to S-Bus. Oops. Oh, hang on. It was on S-Bus. So before I do anything, no, I need you to double check that just in case. So the receiver, that is on iBus. Oh, I can't remember what was on now. iBus. That. Nothing. Let's just check the channel map. I don't think it's going to be this one, but I don't think it matters. I think even if I was, I'll just set it as default. I've still got nothing. It's not doing jack. Oh, hello. I just done? S bus, right, so I'm on iBus. Let's unplug. Switch on my controller. Come back. It is connected, but I have nothing. Zippity doo dah, in fact. Okay, so what we'll do is we're going to do exactly the same again. I'm going to change it though, so I'm going to unplug you and switch you off a second, like that. I'm going to come back to my controller. I'm going to say output mode to S bus. Yes. Are you sure? Yes. Switch off my controller. Okay. I'm now going to switch this back on. Auto connect, configuration, change you to S bus, save and reboot, and then let's plug back in the receiver, or let's switch this on, my controller, and then we're going to plug it back in again. And then receiver, and still nothing. So if you've got any ideas what the heck I'm doing wrong, you can see what I've tried. It's not seeming to want to play. I can see that other people have had similar issues. So they're saying that there's a UART3 that's available, but I don't know if that's true. Right, so UART4 is the camera configuration, so I can't use UART4, apparently. If you want to know where I'm getting all this crap from, it is because I'm doing this whilst reading this forum. It does say here, actually I'm not sure how many spare UARTs the mini version 3 and 4 have. I just know it has 5. So 3 is possibly unused, whereas all the others are used. Okay, that's interesting. It also makes me happy that I didn't push off my soldering iron. Okay, so we are now going to unplug. Oh, hang on, let me bring the camera back so you can see what I'm doing. Right, so I've just unplugged the receiver. I now want to unplug this bit. Like so. Take the camera out. Move the box out. Not the box, the thing out the way. Switch that one off and this one on. Go back to this screen, and now you should hopefully, oh, no you won't, but that's because it's all blurred, because I need to bring my finger back. So what I need to do is bring that back, and I need to just so it doesn't move around like a pain in the bottom that it usually is. I'm going to bring that round like that, and then I should be able to do that so you can see what I'm doing again. Okay, so we've got RX2. Now RX3, there is one, but I don't know if that RX3 is anything to do see, to me, the way that it looks, the the UX3 is for the VTX. So if we keep with UR2, my thinking, dangerous as it is, so we've got a RX3 and a RX4, 5. Now what I'm wondering is, when I did the, oh shit, I turned it all off now. What should I do? What should I do? Okay, I think what I'll do is I'm gonna take off the RX4, because A, that didn't work, and B, apparently that's already spoken for. So that's probably not a good idea. I don't suppose you can see very much. I can try and do that. See if that helps. That's how I'm set up at the moment anyway. Right, so first things first then, let's take off this. Go. Okay. Now what I'm thinking, again, dangerous I know, is I put it back onto RX2, and I think Bolt's used a command in the CLI to stop it from being inverted. So I'm going to bring him back. Oops. I'm going to bring him back. Right, hang on a minute. See what I can do here. Bend him over like that. just want to simply stick that on there without burning myself. There we go. Oh, no. There we don't go. Okay. I'm going to have to put a tad of solder okay. Oh dear, that's going to fall off. That is not on very tight, is it? Right. I was about to say I got it, but then the red one decided to ping off. There we go. Okay. So that's all soldered, not very tightly, granted, but back on. I just don't, I like having a gap, I don't like them being so close together. There we go. Okay. Shut up. Bloody controller. Okay. There we are then. We can come back to here. And now I'm going to switch that off, switch that on. I need to undo that one. And I do need the frame back because it needs full power. So I have to plug this one back in. Or ideally the right way. Now the chance of this working, right, is 0. Well, that's possibly a little bit negative. Let's say 1. I'm just trying to make sure that is in nice and snug, like that. That goes on top, like that. That sits on there, like that. Okay. Get the receiver and plug it in, like that. Okay. So far, so good. Let's plug it in. Stick the battery on. Okay, so we've got a full light on the receiver, so it's bound. So what I'm going to do is change the monitor back to 2. Oh, for God's sake. 1 even. So we're in beta flight. Okay, so I'm going to stick back on ports. I'm going to change that to 2. And I am currently on output mode on my Evolution on S-Bus, so I'm going to leave that as it is, and I'm then going to configure S-Bus as well, and ports to reboot. Okay. Receiver. No. Jack. Crap. So I want to set the inverter off. So beta flight CLI, you are to set inversion equals off. Do. Okay, here we go. So on here, set so it's serial RX inverted equals off. So did that do it? I don't know if that did it. How do I find out what a setting is? get serial RX. Allowed values. Serial RX inverted is off. Okay, so it is off. So does that now mean that if I come back to here and receiver, no, don't mean jack, because I still don't have any friggin' controls. I am on UART 2. Try UART 1, but receiver, nope. Let's try 3. We just got to go for him again. Nope. It's not going to be 4, but as I've started, I might just carry on going. It's not 4. It's not 5, which I didn't think it would be, because it really should be 2, because I am on RX2. And the receiver, no, my configuration is S-bus. Let's change that to iBus. Let's change my controller to iBus. Switch it off. Save and reboot. Switch it on. Come back to receiver. I am bound, but still no friggin' movement on my sticks. So I'm out of ideas. I don't know what else to do. Set serial RX inverted equals on. Exit. Receiver. Shock. Nothing. Alright, let's go to configuration. Let's go to S-bus. Change my controller. Output mode, S-bus. Yes. Output. Are you sure? Yes. Saved. Done. Nope, nothing. So I am now out of ideas. Sorry, it's been a very long video. I've been trying to figure this out. It's not working. If you have the answer, then post or comment wherever you're watching this, because yeah, I'm out of ideas. So I was hoping to have a successful attempt at doing this, but it didn't work. just seen something. I don't know if it's going to. No, there isn't anything to do with FS in this version anymore. This was like 2 years ago, so that's fine. Anyway, that's it. I'm done. I don't know why it's not working. So I either have to get another receiver, which I don't particularly want to do. And a new transmitter. But they're both a lot of money, so I don't know how else to go forward. So this is Mr. Lazylegs, and thank you for watching and putting up with me for the last 1 hour and 22 minutes. You can see everything that I've tried, so again, if you've got any ideas, please do post a comment. Until then, stay safe, take it easy, and we'll be back with some more drone flying a little bit later on. Until then,